Going live here. This is the late night edition. Been trying to get some work done around this joint. Hi, Henry McClure live. And I'm a candidate for mayor here in the city of Topeka, the Golden City. We've got a primary coming up, and I want to talk to you about tonight's topic is Lawrence Bay. Just Lawrence Bay. Now, I've posted on Facebook a couple of posts giving some examples because I have to prove what I'm saying is true. So I got to document this so people that don't live it can believe me and understand it. But you've got to understand how far back this goes. And it goes back to Jim Klausman actually, I think, was going to build a golf course out there. Then he sold the land to Gene Yanni. And without giving the whole history of it, I basically think Gene Yanni got ran out of town. But here we are a decade later, a decade of not paying the specials that were put in to create Lawrence Bay. So you've got a difference in real estate taxes and specials. So I had an unsuccessful run as a Republican, which I still am, against the Democrat Kevin Cook for the Shawnee County District. And this is where this whole thing got started. And the whole thing got started one day when I was talking to Kevin about it, and then I'm telling you something, it wasn't 15, 20 minutes later I got an email from the property owner saying, "What are you doing going behind my back?" Hey, how can it be going behind my back talking to my elected official? But what I was doing was I was talking to his lackey. Kevin is the landowner's lackey, in my opinion. So I go down to the city council or county commission, and I complain and I talk about it. I used to be able to ramble down there for a lot longer than 4 minutes, but they got rid of that. But Larry Maw sat me down and said, "Henry, they took the power away from me to collect on the back taxes and specials. You know, it was the treasurer's duty." So then they gave the authority to the county councilor. And I'm gonna wrap this up here kind of quick, tie it all up. So anyway, I get into it with the county councilor saying he's not following state law, and I still have to write. I still have to write a response back to him for the letter he wrote to Chris Kobach, because I wanted Kobach to look into all this, and I still do. So sometimes as a guy like me, where do I stop and start with the story about Lawrence Bay? But I think there's about $7 million in back taxes, because what they do is when you do the specials, they go on as a lien on the property. And some of these taxes are 10 years in arrears. So the county councilor, to make themselves look better, which Rich Eckert is very good at that, saying it's not my fault today. The city has the ability to actually foreclose on the property for the specials. Okay, so what I'm going to do through this whole little show here is I'm going to show you the incompetency of the city, the county, and Jetto all at once. And I don't care how slick the ads are and all the nice things, what people are going to tell you what they're going to do in the future. Any incumbent, they've got, let's just keep it today. Let's just keep it today about Lawrence Bay. Because there were bonds, right? There were bonds originally put up for the improvements for the paving and other improvements that later on will be put on lot by lot. And the whole thing, as I remember, Gene Yanni got in this big fight with the city. And then the city started slow playing Gene Yanni. And it got ugly. And it got way too political. And it got too political for the people, the backers of Gene Yanni, that I believe really just squeezed the guy out of town. But hey, everybody's entitled to an opinion. But here's the thing in Lawrence Bay. Here's the thing. The bonds in Lawrence Bay are current, and you, the taxpayer, have been paying those bonds. But what you've got politicians silence is consent. They're not doing their job. The county councilor says it's the city's fault. Well, the city now, they could go ahead and foreclose on that today. But here's the interesting thing. Let me tie this in to more inefficiencies. And that's Jetto. Because Jetto is made up of the mayor, the deputy mayor, today, so you got Padilla and Kell, you got Duncan and Banks, and then you got the 3 city council people, Mays, Cook, and Rapon. So they meet quarterly. So there's been over 40 meetings. There's been over 40 meetings that the city and county could have worked out the whole Lawrence Bay issue. Okay? But they didn't do it. They didn't do it. They've ignored the problem. And so we're going to make this whole election about track record. We're going to make the whole election about voting record. So if you guys are going to put incumbents in that this is the way they do things, is there anything I can do to help you? Is there anything? I'm trying. I'm trying today. I tried. I thought I ran a good race. I think I'm hard to understand. It's complicated because this affects how I make a living in the real estate business. If you let one guy not have to pay taxes Well, he's got an advantage over everybody else. How's that fair? And if you give certain incentives just to certain people, it's not fair. But we need to right the wrong here of Lawrence Bay. I think some of this is coming to a head. I posted something earlier about some other issues, and everybody wants to bring up College Hill, and if I could go back in time, I would never have been an owner of College Hill. If you ask Jerry Farley if College Hill was successful, well, it was. And I know I've been told to keep it on task. But there's over 100 lots out there that could be built on today. But we can't, we've got to get a deed in lieu of foreclosure. We could put those all in the land bank today. But what we have to do is we have to, with this and every lot that sits vacant, every lot that owes back taxes, we take the RHID program and we make a uniform development agreement. Then what we do is we create an open listing to all the residential real estate people. We open it up, the same deal to everybody. I mean, automatically, you got 750 people that are in the business every day of selling real estate, and they're thinking who their prospects are. But we've got to get new people voting to do things differently. This is the foundation of all the problems right here. It creates separate treatment. It creates separate treatment. But hey, look, it's like a full-time job. I've had some really nice people to send me stuff that I need to get posted up. But it's so hard for me to take time to prove to people. I just got this questionnaire, a bunch of questions in there. It was very sophomoric, some of the questions. I'd actually like the guy that sent it to me, I'd like to know what he would write. But if I got to figure out how to justify that this information is true. Well, it's all out there online. Just follow the link. Do your own homework. Because I guess you're not going to take my word for it. What's gone on over the last decade in Lawrence Bay, everybody, any elected official should not be reelected just on this alone. Silence is consent. But we've got to make changes. We've got to do things differently. As your mayor, it will be my job to try to convince the other council people to do it differently. That's what I got for you tonight. I did my best to try to keep it all about just Lawrence Bay. Y'all have a good night.